ESA develops zero debris satellite. Now, what is the debris? Now, earlier, जितने भी satellites थी, वो वहां पे रह जाती हैं. After a period of time, उनका space life नहीं होता. तो space में रह जाएंगी तो क्या हो जाएगा? Debris. Waste material को debris बोलते हैं. They get collected there. Now, a very good example. So, what they're trying to do is create satellites which are going to be creating no debris. They are recyclable. So, who has started this? And that's the mission. By 2030, this will come. 2030 have zero space debris. Because so many satellites are being launched. Now there are private players coming in. पहले तो सिर्फ countries होती थी. So which is the strongest rocket ever? Or the volume-based rocket? किसका? NASA doesn't have it. Not Russia also. SpaceX. Yeah, Tesla has it. What is the name of its Starship? It's launched. अभी तो fourth launch भी हो गया है. वो तो reusable के लिए कर रहे हैं. They are not. They say कभी failure हो रहा है, कभी कुछ हो रहा है. 4 launches हो चुके हैं space उसके SpaceX के Starship के. वो तो एक तो reusable कर रहे हैं. अभी तो इन्होंने लॉन्च किया था कि सीधा हम मार्स तक पहुंचा दे तुम्हें. That's the हमारा तो वो छोटे वाले हैं. बूस्ट अप पहले एक रॉकेट एक स्पेस में जाता है, जब वो पूरा स्पीड गेन करता है फिर फ्रांस से छोड़ते हैं, फिर पैराबोला फिर से वो स्लिंग शॉट्स की तरह जाता है हमारा. सो इनका बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है. दैट्स द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट रॉकेट व्हाट दे आर ट्राइंग टू डेवलप स्पेसएक्स. ओके, ईएसए डेवलप जीरो डेब्री सैटेलाइट. ईएसए का मतलब क्या है? यूरोपियन स्पेस इंडस्ट्री. इसमें कौन से आ गया? एयरबस डिफेंस एंड थेल्स अलीना स्पेस. 3 इंडस्ट्रीज, 3 ने बोला है कि हम ऐसी सैटेलाइट्स बनाएंगे जो क्या होगी? डेब्रीज को. सो बाय व्हाट इज द टारगेट? बाय 2030. बस इतना है याद रखो. स्पेस जंक क्या है कि पूरा टाइम आपके स्पेस में सपोज वो स्मॉल स्मॉल पार्टिकल्स रह जाएंगे, तो उससे क्या होएगा? वी विल हैव प्रॉब्लम. अब फ्यूचर में हम कैसे साफ करेंगे? सो इफ सैटेलाइट लॉन्च समथिंग गोज रॉन्ग एंड यू नो द प्रोडक्ट्स, इट विल हैव अ प्रॉब्लम. ओके, द फर्स्ट एआई फायर डिटेक्शन कहाँ पे है? पेंच. पेंच कहाँ पे है? इट्स इन महाराष्ट्र. पेंच महाराष्ट्र एमपी बॉर्डर है जहाँ पे ये बना है. इट्स द 2 स्टेट्स, एक में नहीं है. इज इट क्लियर? पेंच इज अ टाइगर रिजर्व. फर्स्ट एआई डिटेक्शन. जनरली हम फायर डिटेक्ट कैसे करते हैं? फॉरेस्ट फायर, सैटेलाइट्स. इज इट क्लियर? व्हाट इज इंडियन नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट नोन एज? जैसे हमारे पास जीपीएस है, ये यूएस है ना. व्हाट इज इट नोन एज? नावैक. दिस इज इंडिया. जैसे जीपीएस है जो आपके उस पर चलता है गूगल पे, गूगल मैप्स आर वर्किंग ऑन जीपीएस. ये नाविक है. सो सिमिलरली हमारी भी सेंसिंग सैटेलाइट्स होंगी. अब 99 में प्रॉब्लम क्या थी? ड्यूरिंग द कारगिल वॉर वी वर आस्किंग अमेरिका, कैन यू lend us the satellite imagineering and everything. America said no. That is how we started with this research of no, we need to have our own satellites. तो हम ऐसे करते थे. अब पेंच पे क्या किया है? हिल टॉप पे इन्होंने क्या कर दिया? कैमरा लगा दिया which turns by itself. There's AI. It can differentiate between clouds and fire, smoke. And it is covering how many kilometers? 350 kilometers. इसमें याद करना क्या है? पेंच 350 kilometers of radius. 15 kilometers दूर तक जाता है. 350 kilometers square radius एरिया कवर करता है. 15 kilometers radius है. What is it called? Pantera. High resolution cameras feeds and satellite data to send real time reports 3 minutes after the first fire is. Is it clear? ये क्वेश्चन आएगा. इसका नाम क्या है? Pantera कहाँ पे है? Pench. What is ESA? 3 companies have come through. Which 3 companies have come through? Airbus. Airbus कौन सा बनाती है? There are 2 airlines. Airbus and Boeing. Airbus is European. Airbus is European. Airbus is European. See, Boeing is having its problem. Boeing में क्या हो रहा है? Planes were going down and everything. Airbus is taking over. जो Airbus है वो बहुत ज़्यादा लोग ऑर्डर्स करते हैं. तो बोइंग के अभी स्टॉक्स नीचे गिरे हुए थे बिकॉज उसके प्लेन्स गिर रहे थे. सो एयरबस वो है जो आपके एविएशन फ्लाइट्स जो ये वाले ये सब बनाती है. सेकंड कौन सा आ गया? थेल्स अलीना स्पेस. थर्ड कौन सा आ गया? यूरोपियन स्पेस. इज इट क्लियर? व्हाट इज लोअर अर्थ ऑर्बिट? 2000 to 160 किलोमीटर. इसके अंदर जो भी सैटेलाइट्स होंगे. बाय व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द अमेज़न वन? Amazon वाले ने भी निकाला हुआ है अपना space का. What is it known as? And it started its commercial flights. Jeff Bezos. He was the first one to go on his own airlines in 2005. I guess. और कहाँ तक जाते हैं? They go up to 80 to 100 kilometers. He doesn't have that powerful rockets. Now imagine Elon Musk are creating are going space tourism. There's two airlines. One is I'd like to explain with the airlines only. Have you heard of Virgin Atlantic? This is again a British billionaire who owns it. तो इसने क्या किया है अपने जो aircraft हैं उसके ऊपर Richard something है. So he's done that. So Jeff Bezos ने same rockets ऊपर भेज के कौन हाँ slingshot लगी पर aircraft पे रखते हुए भेजता था ना तो to give you a feeling of the space travel and everything. So Jeff Bezos has started it. अब just saying Jeff Bezos के rockets जाते हैं 1,100 kilometers. जो मैं SpaceX की बात कर रहा हूँ जा रहे 7,000 kilometers in one go. So you can imagine that's how powerful. NASA has not been able to do it. They've had failures, 2, 3. The third one did not come back. The fourth one was to be reused and brought in. There are some failures, but it's a 7,000 kilometer long rocket which can actually propel you directly to Mars. So they have that powerful rockets now. Okay, पेंच में क्या था कौन सा है Pantera. ऐसे कैमरा लगा हुआ है it looks into it कि कहाँ पे क्या है it will find it. AI detection है. Earlier what we were using satellites. Okay, NASA SpaceX launched final NOAA weather satellite. What is NOAA weather? This is GOUS satellite for NASA. Which two have a question क्या आएगा? Which two have combined together for this thing? NOAA weather satellite, SpaceX and NASA. Okay, at NASA Kennedy Heavy, the launch took place. The satellite was on SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket. ये जो चल रहे हैं इनके reusable है. That is the one. Reusable है, वो reusable है. So उसमें क्या होता है कि अभी जैसे हमारा कौन सा था जो अभी हम इसरो ने लॉन्च किया था पुष्पक तो वो क्या था इट्स जस्ट लाइक अ थिंग इट लैंडेड बाय इटसेल्फ उसका जो लैंडिंग स्पीड था वो 320 किलोमीटर पर आ रहा था व्हिच इज फास्टर देन नॉर्मल एयरक्राफ्ट्स बट मटेरियल जो था इट्स द थर्ड टाइम वी हैव यूज्ड इट अभी तो वी आर वे बैक कंपेयर वी हमारे पास जीएसएलवी रॉकेट मुश्किल व्हाट्स द डिफरेंस बिटवीन पीएसएलवी एंड जीएसएलवी सस्ता नहीं होता उसकी फोर्स कम होती है it can go up till 1600 GSLV can push you up to 22,000 kilometers so 36,000 kilometers तक push कर सकता है आपको so when we say कौन सा use किया था rocket Falcon Heavy what is basically the design impact on weather and space weather predictions which are the weather satellites कौन से दो उसने भेजी है इंडिया ने किसके साथ भेजी है फ्रांस के साथ फ्रांस ने और किसके साथ भेजी है चाइना तो याद रखो जो ये नोआ वेदर सैटेलाइट है ये किसने भेजी है NOAA नासा एंड स्पेसएक्स कौन सा रॉकेट था फैल्कन हेवी कहाँ पे है जियो स्टेशनरी ऑर्बिट 22,000 miles that means 36,000 kilometers approximately the satellite does more than just watch the weather it is essential for watching and getting ready for severe weather in real time which helps people be more resilient is it clear weather phenomena कोई change हो रहा है strong हो रहा है तो by how like in this best example to you जैसे आपको मैसेज अलर्ट्स आने नहीं लगे रेड रेड अलर्ट ऑरेंज अलर्ट वो कैसे आ रहे हैं वो इसी से तो आ रहे हैं आज पे इज इट क्लियर और नॉट हाउ दे कमिंग अब जापानीज है बिफोर हैंड अलर्ट इज इशूड जब वो अभी अर्थक्वेक हुआ था कि देयर इज अ थ्रेट ऑफ अ सुनामी सो हाउ इज दिस कमिंग ऑल दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द सैटेलाइट्स इज इट क्लियर और नॉट अर्थक्वेक हुआ तो उसका सुनामी का अलर्ट नहीं आ गया था सो द वाटर थोड़ा सा होता है ओके मैक्रोफेज सिर्फ बेसिकली व्हाट इज अ मैक्रोफेज ये थोड़ा सा वो है these are basically for fighting disease and helping tissues heal what is it macrophage is used for immunology किसने डिस्कवर किया सिर्फ इतना याद रख लो Fernando Martinez Estrada basically it's related to a protein so this will not come what is significance that might come in your science हाँ तो इसमें नहीं आएगा considering the paper. The CS1 is an effective way to tell difference between monocytes, dendritic cells, macrophages. Its discovery has made it possible to separate and carefully study the cells in variety of settings. Basically, what does macrophage do? It tends to help you repair your tissues. कोई tissue खराब हो जाए तो उसको repair करते हैं. So that's what they've studied. SSLV, first dedicated commercial launched by ISRO. Now, what is this SSLV? हमने क्या किया है? अभी तक ISRO किसकी launch कर रहा था? It was launching its own. Now it started its commercial way. That's most important. अब ये पैसा जो आएगा, where will this money go? To India. We are using it as revenue coming to us. What does SSLV means? Small satellite launch vehicle. As I said, एक PSLV होता है, एक GSLV होता है, सबसे छोटा वाला क्या होता है? SSLV. Polar synchronous, geosynchronous. PSLV, GSLV, the last one is SSLV. Commercial launch. What is the purpose? पहले सिर्फ हम किसको करते थे? The government. अब हमने क्या बोला है? Commercially we can launch it. इसका नाम क्या बोला है? New Space India Limited. It's a company that they've done where they'll get money. जितना पैसा आएगा उतना profit. That's what they're doing. कौन सबसे पहले लॉन्च कर रहा है? It is with Australia Optimus spacecraft which is of 450 किलोग्राम. अब SSLV में 500 किलोमीटर के बियॉन्ड नहीं जा सकते आप. This mission is codenamed Space Maitri. Maitri और किसके लिए? कौन सी एक्सरसाइज है? इंडिया फ्रांस. Is it clear? It's India France defense exercise. Maitri. अब again, what is the name? पहला क्वेश्चन क्या आएगा? Commercial. कमर्शियल में क्या है? SSLV. PSLV और GSLV में क्या फर्क होता है? SSLV स्मॉल सैटेलाइट्स, PSLV पोलर सिंक्रोनस, जियोसिंक्रोनस. पहला कौन सा है? ऑप्टिमस प्राइम से आते हैं. कौन सी जा रही है? ऑप्टिमस. इसका स्पेस प्रोग्राम को क्या बोला है? माइत्री. एंड व्हाट इज द नेम चेंज? न्यू स्पेस इंडिया लिमिटेड. इफ आई हैव टू गो फॉर अ प्राइवेट लॉन्च, आई डोंट गो टू इसरो. वेयर डू आई गो? NSIL. Is it clear or not? So what we do, we have started a new thing. Just like, see, NASA के वजह से पैसे नहीं थे. NASA and what happened with the coming of, how did this privatization of space came in US? NASA said, I don't have that much money. After which failure, NASA said, we are not going to take any risk. Can you tell me the name of the failure? Huh? Apollo 10 or Columbia? Where Indian, वो कौन थी astronaut? नहीं, सुनीता विलियम्स is living. The one who died, that's Columbia 10. Kalpana Chawla. So they were having failures after failures after failures. So they said, we don't have more money. That's how they allowed the private players to come in. Similarly, India has allowed the private players to come in. Because what SpaceX is doing, what Jeff Bezos has a lot of money. वो कहता है, चलो मैं अब space में भेजूंगा सबको. How much do you think you charge for it? Huh? It's basically $500,000. $500,000 makes approximately 4 crores. 5 lakhs into 0 makes it 50 into 8 would make 4 crores for 10 minutes. Yes, you cannot stay forever. They only send you for 80 to 100 kilometers. They make you sit there for 10 minutes and that's it, and it's flightless, and you come back. Just 100 kilometers is because you feel weightless. You're in space. So, and now they're saying, now the next launch that they are saying, if you want to go to ISIS, that is not ISIS, ISIS, Indian Space, sorry, the International Space Center, we will take 10 million to 25 million. We'll let you go there. तो वो वही है ना उसका वर्जन अटलांटिक वाले का, वो अराउंड 200 चार्ज करता है, 1000, because there are a lot of people there. In this is a capsule. There are 4 people. They send you up. You stay there for 10 minutes and you're back. Indian has also gone, and make you remember that name. एक Indian भी गया हुआ है, एक black भी गया. ये नहीं जाते, ये कहते हैं हम नहीं जाएंगे. Okay, ये clear है? SSLV. What is the name for it? इसरो की जगह हम कहाँ पे जाएंगे अगर हमें कुछ भेजना है? NSIS. कौन सा था? ऑप्टिमस प्राइम से आना है. ऑप्टिमस और ऑपरेशन माइत्री. इतना याद रह जाएगा. ओके. अब व्हाट इज SSLV? इंडियाज इसरो कितना वेट हो सकता है? मैंने आपको पहले बताया 500. In August took place, which was a step forward in India's commercial space, because if we are now going to go into commercial space, अब हम क्या कर रहे हैं? मेक इन इंडिया की बात कर रहे हैं और इन सब की, तो ऑटोमेटिकली फाइनेंसेस किसके पास आएंगे? इंडिया के पास. It's a 1 week turnaround time, which is lost faster than the others. ISRO is more competitive in the world. ये रहा, Ed White. He's the oldest person to go. He was the first black astronaut candidate. For Apollo 11 and all. He was a candidate. He was not chosen. Then the whole debate started that you are discriminating with blacks and everything. So he was in 1963, first one chosen. So this was Ed White. He was sent by which Jeff Bezos' company is Blue Origin. वो तो उनका नीचे जा रहे थे ना. हाँ, वो तो खुद ही मर गया था. The person who owned it. उसी का था. हाँ. Okay, what is the name of it? Blue Origin. Who is the first? He's the oldest. He's 90-year-old. अब मैं आपको जो पूछ रहे थे, 90-year-old men felt weightless for a few minutes. What happened was actually he was chosen for this Gemini and Apollo program in 1963. His name cropped up. He was actually way ahead of Buzz Aldrin. Okay, now how many of you seen that movie Toy Story? That Buzz Lightyear gets his name from Buzz Aldrin. That's how the name comes. That was this guy, Michael Collins, and there's another one, Neil Armstrong. So they were the three ones. So that's how the Buzz Lightyear comes into place, Buzz Aldrin. So this guy's name is very simple to remember. 1963, and then he was not allowed. Who was the first black, by the way? John Blofeld. He is the first black to go into space, but it will not come. This person is more important because he's 90-year-old. Ed White. 90 साल था. कौन सी कंपनी में गया था? Blue Origin. Ed White. Okay. What is Blue Origin? There's a good question on this. In 2000, the company focused on rocket-powered vertical takeoff and vertical landing spacecraft for this. What is the name of the spacecraft? New Shepard. It is on the astronaut Alan Shepard. What is Karman 9? 80-100. T-Smile yaad hai? You know T-Smile? Troposphere, stratosphere, meosphere, ionosphere. So meosphere is at 80-100. So when you reach this, that is when you feel weightless. You stay there for 10 minutes and you come back. And you get to spend 4 to 5 crores. This is 80-100. That is when you feel weightless. What is the name of the spacecraft? New Shepard. Who is the one? Ed White. Ed White se yaad rakhne na. Ed White. Is it clear? Ed White. What is the name of the company? Space Origin. Blue Origin, sorry. What is the name of the craft? New Shepard. And what are they developing, by the way? They're also developing its ultimate competitor, SpaceX. Blue Origin hasn't achieved its orbital flight. Orbital flight comes with the Artemis project. Okay. Japanese scientists create, this is important because in future, when we saw that in the movies, that robots looking like humans, yes. So what they did from dead skin, they created a petri dish. In this petri dish, they created skin that can smile. So the robots now can have features. Yeah, exactly what you're doing, twitching. So the robot will be able, like they'll be putting the dead skin here, and with the electronic pulses, they'll be twitching and everything. So they're basically creating robots which will exactly look like humans in the future. In 20 years' time, what you saw in the movies actually is going to come true. So robots will exactly look like humans and everything. Okay. Huh? Simpsons is going to come true. Okay. Who is this person, by the way? Mengo Nai from the University of Tokyo. Bas itna yaad rakhna. You will actually look like, seriously, it looks like humans and everything. Okay. Blink X, India's first generation AI lab. Kisne create kiya? They're basically in stockbroking. So if you're going to the lab and you're dealing as a customer, the AI is going to deal with you, make your feature, make your any transaction, anything more easier for you. A very good example. It's just come up in India. What is the name of it? BlinkX. What is the name of it? BlinkX. So it's basically a stockbroking firm. Suppose I want to go my account and demat and everything. It's all going to happen with the help of AI. So they don't have no people. Now, a very good example for this is what is happening is this happened in India right now. Which country is way ahead in AI? UAE. If you go there and if you want to go to the police station, you don't go and sit with the policeman. You go there, you file a complaint, you have an interaction with the The computer itself, it'll tell you what all to feed. That's it. There's nothing to it. So you don't really interact with the police. Like in the sense, they don't have policemen standing on the roads. Like in Chandigarh, you will not see policemen standing on the roads because they have cameras everywhere. Now their cameras are coming in such a way that they are going to click a picture and everything without telling somebody in the control room sitting to do it. In India, still, this guy might be eating a samosa and having a cup of coffee when he's looking at you, whether you're going at crossing or something. Over there, they have all this done by AI. Yeah, the center. So they're sitting there just like this. When the challans are a bit less, they'll put challans and everything. But this is how they do it. This is AI integration. What is it? This is important. BlinkX, because it's the first AI lab in India. BlinkX. Is it clear? Okay, next one. IISc develops 3D hydrogel to study TB research. Why is it important? Because earlier, all the research was done on 2D models. So who has developed it? IISc Bangalore has developed it. Is it clear? It's a 3D model. बस इतना याद रखना है. TB research generally वो क्या effect होता है medicine का और ये सब. So is it clear or not? China France satellite study universe explosive events. What is the name of the satellite? SVOM. Who has developed space variation object monitor? इसमें क्या है? They are reading gamma ray burst. What a gamma ray burst? Suppose a black hole है. When it's about to finish, suddenly a huge amount of gamma rays come. The gamma rays are also important because there are two ways. एक short gamma ray होती है, एक long duration के लिए होती है. एक short duration की होती है 2 minutes, 2 seconds. जो longer duration is for 2 minutes. Short duration also helps you to know how do you get precious metals, gold and all, how they form. So that is what they've created. Who's created it? China and France. What is the name of the satellite? Study Universe Explosive Events. That's SBOM. Where was it launched from? Jiang satellite. This more likely is not going to come. Anything related to Chinese have never come in our papers. Just information. What are gamma ray radiations? एक है just एक basic दो चीजें याद रखना. Short gamma ray. This happens when two neutron stars or neutron star and black hole collide less than 2 seconds. Kilometers are important for making heavy metals like gold and platinum. So these short will give you gold and platinum. The longer tells how the planets or how the stars end. Just remember this. What does short gamma rays tell you? Metals. How metals are formed. Long. How planets or how stars finish and how they regenerate. That's the only thing. Gold is, sorry, so gold. See, gold is going to be there every now. A very good story for you. Elon Musk was asked, "Why aren't you investing in gold?" He said, "I don't need to invest in gold if at the technology, the rockets he's creating. It's better. There's so many asteroids which might have gold. I'll go capture one of the asteroids and bring it back. Why do I need to make gold?" Which is true, because there is an asteroid coming, but it'll be way far off. How high it is not that big. It is like a plane. No, recently it's coming in August. अभी निकलने वाला है. It's like 450. Generally we say close. 4.5 million kilometers दूर होता है. उससे पास में आते हैं उसको close बोलते हैं. हमें इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It's the size of an aeroplane. हाँ, dart भी है. We can shoot it down. It's size of an aeroplane which is too small to cause any damage. जैसे मैंने बर्लिन वाला दिखाया था. It was the size of a house. By the time it came here, nothing. Yeah. So that is the last one that was. Huh? Not diamond. It's if it is diamond there, but there's no diamond in that. It is just in general. Okay. Now plutonium fission impact India. India में कौन से दो reactors हैं ये important है. Plutonium पहले. अब हमने दो नए reactors कहाँ पे आए हैं? Prototype breeder, fast breeder reactor. Where is it in? Kalapattum. Kundakulam and Kalapattam. These two have both started. किसकी collaboration के साथ है? Russia. There's a very good possibility in fact. They've started. They've already been reached critical stage. हमारे पास क्या है? Uranium isotope and heavy water reactor used to make plutonium 239 and electricity. When plutonium 239 takes in a neutron, it changes to plutonium 240 at 27-38%. This grabs another neutron. It would either split. Split का मतलब क्या है? Nuclear fission. So from the base material itself, we are looking forward to creating more nuclear energy. कहाँ पे हैं दो reactors, Kundakulam and Kalapakkam. Both are now critical stage. Critical stage का मतलब है both have started producing electricity. Have you seen this series? Very interesting series थी. कुंडकुलम भी है. कालापक्कम में प्रोटोटाइप बना है, लाइक छोटा सा रिएक्टर है, उसके अंदर दे आर टेस्टिंग. सो व्हाट इज इट? प्लूटोनियम का फास्ट रिएक्टर्स कहाँ पे बना है अभी रिसेंटली? कालापक्कम. दे आर ट्राइंग टू डू इट. यूरेनियम है, यूरेनियम को स्प्लिट करते हैं, प्लूटोनियम बनता है. प्लूटोनियम के अंदर अगर न्यूट्रॉन ऐड करेंगे तो क्या बन जाएगा? 240. फिर से ऐड करते हैं, वो स्प्लिट हो जाता है. स्प्लिट होएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली क्या होएगा? इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. कालापक्कम. दूसरा कौन सा है? कुंडकुलम. पुष्पक, ये जो था इसरो का रीयूज व्हीकल. इसका फोटो भी आया होगा. ये रहा पुष्पक. प्लेन जैसा ही है. इट्स जस्ट दैट कि सेम मटेरियल यूज किया गया था, सब कुछ सेम. अब इस बार क्या किया था? दे डिसाइडेड टू लॉन्च इट इन अ बैड वेदर कंडीशंस. एग्जैक्ट सेंटीमीटर बाय सेंटीमीटर इट लॉन्च, इट केम बैक देयर. इसका स्पीड कितना था? 320 वाइल द टाइम. नॉर्मल एयरक्राफ्ट का अराउंड 120 140 होता है. It was around 320 and it was able to land. It was able to do the braking and everything properly. So reuse vehicle का फायदा क्या है? क्योंकि नहीं तो ये क्या होएगा, वापस reuse नहीं होगा तो क्या हो जाएगा? जल जाएगा. वापस फिर से हमें वो मटेरियल्स लगाने पड़ेंगे. we'll have to put it further and then cost it. इससे क्या हो जाता है? It becomes cost effective. What is this? Landing experiment reusable launch vehicle. ये important है. इसका नाम क्या है? पुष्पक. Is it clear? सेल्फ नेविगेशन लैंडिंग. हाई स्पीड कितनी थी? 320. खुद से लैंड किया, एग्जैक्ट सेम जगह पे लैंड किया जहाँ पे बोला. ब्रेकिंग कर पाया. सेंसर इंटीग्रेशन, व्हीकल रिकवरी एंड यूजेबिलिटी. दैट इज इट. क्लियर? पुष्पक क्या है? क्लियर सबको? ओके. कैन आई जस्ट रिवाइज टिल नाउ स्टार्टिंग से? ओके. ईएसए. व्हाट इज ईएसए? तीन एजेंसीज है. एयरबस. सेकंड कौन सी है? ईएस ओएचपी. और दूसरा कौन सा है? एलिना. व्हाट वाज द पर्पस ऑफ इट? जीरो डेब्रीज. कब तक पहुंचना है? 2030. तो मटेरियल जो यूज करना, अच्छा यूज करना. दैट इज इट. सस्टेनेबल गोल्स. पेंच में कौन सा है? पी से नाम है एआई का, पंटेरा. व्हाट इज द पर्पस? इट्स अ कैमरा व्हिच मूव्स 360. एग्जैक्टली. बट इट विल सेंड सैटेलाइट इमेजिंग. वो सबको यूज करके इट्स इफेक्टिवनेस इज मच मोर बिकॉज़ सैटेलाइट्स कैन नॉट डिटेक्ट सो मच. नासा. महाराष्ट्र एमपी. महाराष्ट्र की जो हिल साइड है ना पेंच वाला, उधर लॉन्च, उधर है. ओके. नासा स्पेस एक्स का क्या है? नोवा. व्हाट वाज इट? फाइंडिंग व्हाट? मैक्रोफेज. आई टोल्ड यू दिस. एसएसएलबी का. अच्छा, अगर मेरे को कोई कमर्शियल लॉन्च करना है, मेरे को क्या करना पड़ेगा? एनएसआई. और क्या है ये? जो कौन सी वो है पहला जो लॉन्च कर रहे हैं? नहीं 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 नहीं. ऑप्टिमस. ऑप्टिमस प्राइम से याद रखने को बोला था. एंड द सेकंड थिंग, व्हाट इज द ऑपरेशन नोन एज स्पेस मैत्री. नेक्स्ट वन, एडवाइट. Oldest. I was actually the first black man to be chosen. Who was the one? Hmm? नहीं नहीं, वो तो दूसरे में गया था. एडवाइट के साथ इंडियन का भी है. एडवाइट 90-year-old. ही वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ कौन सा इसका स्पेस, सॉरी, द जेफ बेजोस की कंपनी का नाम क्या है स्पेस वाली का? ब्लू ओरिजिन. एंड दिस गाय एलन मस्क, SpaceX. व्हाट इज द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट रॉकेट? स्टारशिप 7000. अभी इसने किससे लॉन्च किया था? फैल्कन. फैल्कन. इज इट क्लियर और नॉट? फैल्कन तो इसका चल रहा है. जापानीज साइंटिस्ट. वो ब्लिंक एक्स क्या है? स्पॉट. ब्लिंक एक्स क्या है? फर्स्ट AI lab in India. JM Financial. Next, IISc develops 3D hydrogel. This is who has developed it. 3D hydrogel for studying TB. Where have they developed it? IISc Bangalore. China France satellite for what purpose? Reading the solar gamma rays. Short, long. Short is to make heavy metals. Which one? Gold and what is the name? The guy, Indian. First Indian to go in space. Huh? OP कुछ. Plutonium fission. Why? Where is it? The reactor कहाँ पे है? Kalapakka. The second one, which are now working? Kundakulam and Kalapakam. Both are working right now. Okay, Pushpak क्या है? Reusable. This was the third launch. Second launch, this is the third launch, which they did it in worst weather conditions to see whether it will work by itself or not. It did. Okay. AlphaFold. What is AlphaFold? It's a basically protein structure. वो पी से याद रखना बस. Is it clear? Protein fold. And who has created it? DeepMind is a subsidiary made AlphaFold. What is AlphaFold? It gives you how do proteins flow and everything. Is it clear? वो अलग है alphabet. Okay. Similarly, which is the most expensive tech company now? No. Nvidia is, which is the second one? एक तो Nvidia second. No, Microsoft को beat किया. कौन सी कंपनी? Nvidia तो फर्स्ट आ चुकी है. वो तो बहुत बिलियंस में. एप्पल कैसे हुई थी? एप्पल ने कुछ और चीज निकाला है. नहीं, एप्पल की जो उसने कोई नहीं नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. एप्पल किसी और की वजह से एक्सपेंसिव हुई है. एप्पल इंटेलिजेंस. WWI जो इनकी वो स्पीच मीट होती है उसमें iOS 18 ही निकाला. सो आ चुका है. बेटा वर्जन ऑलरेडी देयर. So now, say for example, like in this case, my phone, I had 18. So I put it on this thing that if I'm using my phone too close, automatically it comes. So now they're starting with everything. They don't call it artificial intelligence, they're calling it Apple intelligence. So that is what has made it the second most expensive company. Okay, AlphaFold is something else. This is just a general. Balon protein, basically it is to know ये प्रोटीन बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है. बेसिकली जो बैक्टीरिया है ना, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोटीन. ये इस करके है कि बेलॉन प्रोटीन क्या है, ग्रोथ नहीं करने देता. एंड जब आप उस कंडीशन से निकाल देते हो, ऑटोमेटिकली ग्रोथ ऑफ ये प्रोटीन हट जाता है. ऑटोमेटिकली जो माइक्रोब्स हैं वो ग्रो करने शुरू हो जाते हैं. ये इस करके हमें स्टडी कर रहे हैं बिकॉज अगर पर्माफ्रॉस्ट में हमारे पास कोई बैक्टीरिया ऐसा है, अगर वो हमारे यहाँ पे आ जाए, लाइक बेस्ट एग्जांपल इज किसी ने कोविड नहीं सुना था. So suddenly this protein started growing by itself. So there is a lot of Arctic ice. अगर वो melt करेगी, there is a lot of bacteria which is present there, which might grow by itself. So as to work and to make sure कि vaccine बनाने की जरूरत ही ना पड़े, they're working on this Balon protein. कि if this protein gets detached automatically, जो micro नहीं grow कर रहा था, वो suddenly starts growing. A very good example. Does the food in your fridge get stale? It does, even though it's cold, because suddenly certain proteins start working after a certain time because this protein gets away. That's the Balon protein. That's the purpose of it. Is it clear? Okay. IIT Delhi wins prize for antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial क्या है? जैसे antibiotics हैं. Now, how many of you have had throat infections or something? You take very strong antibiotics. After some times, you were first taking only 2, 3. By the third you're free. Nowadays you have to take a 1 week course because what is happening, this resistance has started growing. The microbes have started growing this. So for that they had done it. Who won it? IIT Delhi, Indraprasth Institute of Information Technology, not IIT, Indian Institute of Technology. So antimicrobial resistance, who won the prize? Triple IT Delhi. Is it clear? Indraprasth Institute. What is antimicrobial? अच्छा, एक और चीज कर दिया. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने बोला तो है, but none of your antibiotics can be sold over the counter without a doctor's prescription, but it's still sold. कहने के तो इसमें क्या होता है, जितने भी आपकी ये होती हैं, what do you call it? No, what do you call these? अभी मैंने नाम लिया है. What are these called? Antibiotics. Antibiotics have a red strip on top of them, so that will help the chemist also identify. You cannot sell it, but they. And we are taking antibiotics actually very stupid because after a certain age, it's not going to work. And when you are after a certain time, it's not going to work only because you're taking it right now. So when you're in life-death situation, it's not working. It's actually true. Amoxicillin is something that they're using every now and then. Every second, doctor is telling you use amoxicillin. Actually, doctors are responsible, not somebody else. because doctors are not supposed to prescribe all these medicines also. So when you have an infection and when you're on a deathbed, then it's okay. It's actually what they're doing. Like the biggest criminals on this planet are doctors. No, its biggest criminals are doctors. Why do I say it? Is because there's certain drugs which they are prescribing which should not be prescribed because they are getting cutbacks from the pharma companies. Like a very good. Ah, pharma companies have a lot of this. So a lot of मार्केट में आ चुकी है पर वो इंडिया में जैसे एफडीए है एफडीए अप्रूवल करता है यूएस में आप सोचोगे यूएस जैसी तो कंट्री हो नहीं सकती जो स्ट्रिक्ट अप्रूवल्स रखती है सो व्हाट एफडीए डिड देयर वाज दिस जस्ट रीड दिस स्टोरी पर्ड्यू फार्मा नहीं नहीं इंडिया नहीं है ऑक्सीफॉर्टिन भी आ रहा है ना ये इसमें फर्स्ट थिंग यू डू इज ऑक्सीफॉर्टिन settlement. Look at the settlement they had to pay. $8.3 billion and they were able to pay. $1 billion. So the drug that I'm telling you is oxycontin. It's basically an opioid. Yeah, this caused an opioid epidemic. So all the junkies. So say for example, I have a pain also. So I would go to the doctor. The doctor was paid a lot of money to prescribe this. First they started with 5 mg, then 10, then 20. They started doing it. So now suddenly what happens? You get addicted to it. So what young children started doing, like say for example, Aman would go with a fake cast that this is broken, I need this drug. So doctor would give him. Then they used to crush it and then that's what they start. Yeah, it is opioid, hai na? It gets you addicted. So it is opioid class. The point is, you would feel good about it, and it had good results, right? Because the point is, it was a drug which would give you soothness. So like, yeah, I'm feeling better. But originally, it was not. And this entire thing, because now Purdue farmers were caught. But the end of the day, who was the one giving the drugs? So doctors then had a contact with Purdue Pharma. They would suppose if I would sell, I would write this prescription. I would write, say, for example, 10 lakh prescriptions of this. They would give a car. Like that. They would do it like that. Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson had big problem. All the Johnson & Johnson products, they had lead. They were killing the children. So these pharma companies are the biggest, like nowadays you have, because the COVID vaccines came in, suddenly now you get to realize COVID vaccines are also had problems. People can die and it is causing problems. So heart issues and everything, people have died for it. Nobody knows for what reason, but they will never mention this. I did. I had to. Okay. Saturn energy imbalance. So what did So who chose this data or who gave this data? Cassini probe. What was it? There is what we say, the climate changes over time. This was a question might come in terms of your geography. Which planet changes its climate over time? Maximum? Saturn. And who recorded it? Cassini probe. What is Cassini mission? It was launched in 1997, kept working till 2007, was a big part of the finding. NASA, the European Space Agency, Italian Space Agency, all worked on the project. NATO invests 1.1 billion in AI, robotics, space tech, and so on. So what is NATO doing with this? Basically, now with the Ukraine attack by Russia, it is trying to create AI intelligence for all this. What they're looking for? Robotics, for heavy lifting or surveillance. Similarly, a tech company based advanced computer chips to speed up the work on big language models like ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT, you can create heavy codes. but you require good chips, like heavy material. If I start writing a code for it and I say, okay, in 2 minutes my laptop can process it, it will have a big problem because it can only write a certain code. So that's what they're doing. Similarly, iCommat, the company is based in UK, makes lighter vehicle materials. These materials can be very important for making more efficient, durable transport and options for defense. Space Forge, conditioned to make better semiconductors. Is it clear? So who is spending 1.1 for AI, robotics, space tech, so and so? NATO. NATO कैसे बना था? ये क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. NATO में recently कौन सी दो countries add हुई? Sweden and Norway. That is important. How many countries are there in NATO? 32 now. The two, which ones? Norway and Sweden. It was initially 12 countries. When was it found? April 4th, 1949. Turkey bhi hai. Initially, there were 12 countries. Which one? US, Canada, UK, France, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Norway, Denmark, Portugal, and Iceland. Now there are 32 countries, including North America and Europe. Which two countries have been added? Norway आ चुका है. Norway कहाँ पे? Norway, Sweden or Denmark? Sorry, not Norway. Sweden and Denmark. कौन सी Sweden? यही है, Norway and Sweden. It's Norway and Sweden only. These countries. Sweden was recently. I think so. Sweden is for sure. It's not a country here. Sweden and Finland. It's basically European organization and NASA. They are working together. Gavi. What is Gavi? ये बहुत important है. This is for poor countries में vaccine देने के लिए. उसको बोलते हैं Gavi. This is very important. Global Alliance for Vaccines for Immunization. It was created in 2000. इस पे question आएगा. What is Gavi? It is to help the children of poorest countries to get new vaccines that aren't being used enough. Gavi has vaccinated more than 88 million children and now stopped more than 15 million deaths before happening for 2021. Which vaccine are we talking about now recently? Rabies. Rabies भी दो टाइप की वैक्सीन होती है. एक कौन सी होती है? One is human based, एक होती है animal based. Yes. So when you are having rabies, why do they give you a test shot? सीधा वैक्सीन भी नहीं लगाते. पहले टेस्ट शॉट देते हैं, 30 मिनट्स वेट करते हैं, फिर देखते हैं. Allergic. When you say allergy, you can actually die also. No, they give you. First they give animal vaccine. Animal. There are two based of vaccines: animal based and human based. After you get it, so then they put a test shot. They don't give the entire thing. पहले छोटा सा देते. So they see whether you react. हाँ हाँ, तो नहीं, उसमें पहले स्टार्टिंग में वैक्सीन का भी वो देखते हैं कि आर यू reacting in what way or something. So it'll lead to choking and everything. So even with this one, हाँ किसको? That shots 4 courses ही होते हैं. One is ऐसे होता है, I think so. First 2 days, 7. And they put it in the place where they फिर dogs का मतलब लगता है कि that's it, because there is also rabies also has 3 types. One is just not so deep cut. Second is like when they say licking and all, that is not considered deep. Second is when just the upper, it's like a scratch. So that's second. When they can see inside, then that's the third. तब वो third stage होता है. तब लगते हैं पूरा course. Then it's a complete course. So first is a tetanus shot. Then they put it inside that thing and they put it. So if by chance you don't take rabies shot, what happens? You have to actually look at the animal if he dies or not. First the animal will react, then you will react. हाँ क्या हाँ okay. Apple surpassed Microsoft. I told you. AI. They don't call it artificial intelligence. They call it Apple intelligence. So right now they are just started with it. They say we're going to keep on adding more and more things with it, like in the sense images to everything. Where now they're changing it also, because earlier they used to say, "Na, ki if you're clicking a picture, so it used to you had to show which one you need to blur out. Now it picks it up by itself. So they are calling it Apple intelligence. So the huh? Health apps and everything. So they call it okay. Apple in India right now, they these watches work much better as compared to in US, because US somebody filed a patent that जो ये वो नहीं होता arrhythmia when your heart goes up and down, arrhythmia, और ये जब होता है जो Apple Watch में आ जाता है, US filed somebody said my patent was put in first and then Apple did it. In US में उन watches में सब ये delete हो गया. So in India, it's working because in US they are very particular about patents. Here we are not clear about patents. Like very good example, a lot of companies started filing casing against us about the vaccines. Our process is if you don't follow the same process to make the vaccine and using same chemicals in some other way, they say step 1, 2, 3, 4. You're not following that, then you're not a patent. In US, if by chance you make the same vaccine, any way possible, it is still patented. It is expensive. For 20 years, you cannot change the patent. So now what is the difference between generic drug? This is also a question. A generic drug and a normal drug. Cheaper. Why is it cheaper? Because it is made on a bulk scale. And when it's a normal drug, is something like they paid the person who created. So his patent is there, it's going to be expensive. So Combiflam might be 5 rupees also, might be 200 also. It's not now what the chemists try to sell it off. 200 wala effective zyada hoega. No. It's the salts are same, everything is the same, maybe some concentration, maybe less or more, but nothing more. It's very minimalistic. It's not, that is very minimalistic because crocine is, I can tell you there are 12 different drug manufacturers of crocine. 12 different of Combiflam. So it can vary from 300 rupees to 5 rupees or 2 rupees, which is coming in the hospital. These are which Kendras, Jan Aushadhi Kendras and these ones where the government sells it or the government provides it. So from 300 to 3. So that is it. Okay. Which is the most expensive IT company though? Nevada. Why? Silicon chips. All chips. Okay. How now? This is also there. India new mask creators. 3. This is very important. The question will come how? What is this? What is Lal, Mursan, Hilsa? These are name of creators given by India on mass. What is the question? What is ऐसे आएगा पक्का? Lal, Mursan, Hilsa. Somebody with might इसमें रखेंगे fish. एक पक्का देंगे fish type because Hilsa is a fish. Huh? They'll give it like this. I'm telling you exactly how they're going to give it. So what is this? Creators. Lal creator, Mursan creator, Hilsa creator. Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad made a big find. Where was this done? Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad. Which are the ones? Lal, Hilsa, and Mursan. What are the craters? Why is Lal crater very important? Because it shows sedimentary rocks. So that means sedimentary rocks can only be found when there is water. So it shows presence of water earlier in Mars. So what is this? Lal, Mursan, and this is what I know generally UPSC हमेशा पूछता है ऐसे type का. What is this? So what is this? It's a craters. कहाँ पे name किए? किसने name किया? Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad. Landmark paper sparks decade on AIDS research. Yes. What is this paper? Basically, AIDS is of different types. Why are we not able to create vaccines for it? is because it keeps on wearing very quickly. So that's the biggest problem that we are having. That's why we cannot do it. So what it did, it basically doc who this guy started his research in 81, and then he gave this paper, pneumocystis pneumonia, a rare infection that causes people to lose weight quickly. So basically, he started researching on that, and he found that since AIDS में क्या होता है, there are different types of AIDS. They work differently on somebody. So that's why the vaccines for AIDS has not ever come. That's what he says. इतना कुछ नहीं आएगा just in general. This is important. International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. UN. 2025 will be International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. Okay, how many of you watched that movie? So ये थी where they for the first time blasted the hydrogen bomb. Sorry, the Oppenheimer. Who was the first one who gave research for Oppenheimer is this guy, Vernon Heisenberg. He's the one who basically talked about quantum science or quantum physics. Quantum physics is not relatively possible, what they say. As he was explaining in the movie, he says, if I place this hand on other, so basically these are atoms. If we look at the quantums of it, if these atoms were not opposing each other, so this hand would go inside this in the parallel world. That's what he said about quantum physics. Of Camelists. So this is what we say quantum science. Who is the main person? Heisenberg. Yeah, 2025 will be year of quantum physics. That's it. IIT Madras and NASA study pathogens of ISIS. Okay, what are pathogens? ISIS में क्या होता है? What is ISIS? International Space. Okay. The research is about, okay, you remember, why do the doctors tell you to get out of hospital as early as possible? So they tell a patient not to stay in ICU for too long. Or a patient is in... Exactly, because everybody is having certain viruses or certain diseases. So they want you to get out as early as possible. They tell a person should not be kept in ICU for too long. If he's okay, shift him out. Similarly, if somebody is in a general ward or something, they say, not general ward, the CCU. Because what do they say? That is where you have a lot of diseases, a lot of germs. So what happens is, just an example, this is about how certain bacteria become resistant to certain drugs. So this is exactly what happens. So somebody's carrying, suppose somebody's having had a surgery. He may not have a cough, but in hospital, he gets a cough, which he continues till home. It's only after 5-6 days. You must have seen it. Some or the other stays. Because what happens, that bacteria, because of the medicines being used, it has become resistant to it. So this is the study, because what is happening in ISIS is the same. This bacteria has not changed its surrounding. It's using the same thing. So this is a study by IIT Madras and NASA, which is a very interesting study, pathogen study. So what will be the advantages of it? By chance, हमारे कोई hospital से निकलता है, हमेशा they have some disease, remember, coughing cough, कुछ ना कुछ तो रहता है ना. So what they're trying to do is find out how do we tackle such pathogens. ये किसकी study है? IIT Madras और NASA. याद रह जाएगा. This is basically, this is best example is Enterobacter pyogenes, which is known for making hospital illness hard to get rid of. This is this bacteria. It can also change to survive in space. So what is this study? Pathogens की study किसके between है? IIT Madras and okay. Now what is ISIS? इस पे भी आ गया. International Space Station. What is the speed? 28,000 kilometers per hour. ये बहुत important है. Orbits Earth every 90 minutes. So अगर हम यहाँ से फोटो खींचते हैं, second time भी फोटो खींचेंगे, exact 90 minutes बाद वो, how many seen that movie? Now, there was this about alien invasion, Pacific Rim, where the Navy guys are there. So basically, they say that you need to get the satellites down because after every 90 minutes, what is happening? The ISIS is reflecting. Now, ISIS will further reflect this. Sure. So within 90 minutes, what happens? ISIS is exactly placed. अगर अभी ऊपर है, तो 90 minutes बाद वापस ऊपर आ जाएगा. तो घूम रहा है, रोटेशन दे दी ना एक बार फोर्स दे दी. अब तो सोच डॉकिंग कितना मुश्किल होता है. The ISIS is visible from Earth with naked eye, appearing as fast moving star. किसने किया था? नासा, रॉसकॉम्स, जापान, ईएसए यूरोप, सीएसए कनाडा। कब लॉन्च हुआ था ये? 98। मार्किंग इट्स वन ऑफ द लॉन्गेस्ट इनहैबिटेड स्ट्रक्चर्स इन स्पेस। चाइनीज कौन सा डेवलप करी है? चाइनीज खुद का। व्हाट इज द नेम? Hang This is the name of the Chinese. Triangle. Axiom तो बना रहे हैं, प्राइवेट। दे आर मेकिंग इट ना, अभी नहीं हुआ। फर्स्ट कमर्शियल स्पेस स्टेशन आएगा, दे आर मेकिंग इट, अभी तो हुआ ही नहीं। चाइनीज का कौन सा है? Astronauts above the ISS recycle 90% of the water. How do they recycle it? Water से क्या बनता है? ऑक्सीजन। वाटर क्या है? इसी को स्प्लिट करके क्या यूज करते हैं? That's how they produce the oxygen. Okay, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। डोनान, व्हाट इज अल्जाइमर फर्स्ट? जब आफ्टर 65 के बाद तुम्हें बोलना शुरू हो जाता है यू डोंट नो वेयर यू गोइंग और समथिंग, ये 65 के लिए ड्रग बना चुके हैं। जैसे बिग फोर नोन एज द डोनाबाम, एफडीए के पास गया है। हु मेड दिस ड्रग? एली लिली। अल्जाइमर को भूलने वाला था, पार्किंसंस नहीं, हाथ का। नर्वस सिस्टम का होता है। Tremors in one hand, slow movement, stiffness and loss of balance. Is it clear? Okay. Donham क्या क्या है? What is this? दवाई। अभी अप्रूव करनी है, किसने बनाई है? एलईडी। अब इसका भी पता है वो आया है कि सर्टेन रिसर्च में कईयों की बहुत ज्यादा ब्रेन स्वेलिंग हो जाती है। वो अ, क्या बोलते हैं, साइड इफेक्ट्स। एवरी ड्रग हैज अ साइड इफेक्ट। कोई भी आप मेडिसिन लोगे उसका साइड इफेक्ट है। तो वेरी गुड एग्जांपल, सबसे इजी बताता हूँ, सिट्राजिन कितने ली हुई है? जुकाम भी, मेक्स यू स्लीपी, इट्स वेल नोन साइड इफेक्ट, मेक्स यू ड्राउजी। वो तो हम बोलते हैं नींद आ गई, मेक्स यू ड्राउजी, कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं होता। और वेरी वेल नोन साइड इफेक्ट, इट्स ऑल्सो फॉर एलर्जीज, सिट्राजिन। तो वो देगा बट बैंड नहीं है, पता है बहुत मेजर साइड इफेक्ट है। पर वो क्या है कि अच्छा ये चीज रोकने के लिए तो सिट्राजिन ले लो। वो सिर्फ देखो इतने से भी देखो नींद आएगी। सो साइड इफेक्ट तो है ही है इसमें। क्या है, कईयों की ब्रेन स्वेलिंग हो रही है, ब्लड क्लॉटिंग हो रहा है, वो ब्लीडिंग हो रही है। बट द पॉइंट इज ब्रेन डैमेज को रोक रही है। और सिंस देयर इज नो ड्रग फॉर इट, व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द ड्रग? डोनेमेर। किसने किया है? एलईडी। इंपॉर्टेंट है ये। सी बेस्ड ऑप्टिकल एटॉमिक क्लॉक्स, ये क्वेश्चन आया था ना इस बार सीडीएस में। एटॉमिक सी बेस्ड अब बनाया है। Atomic clocks are very important for the GPS, and there have been recent improvement in this area. Not only are these devices important for navigation, but they are also used for military action in case of emergencies. In the past, these timekeeping devices were big, only used in labs. Most recently, research work has to make a smaller version. अब सबसे important चीज क्या है, क्या यूज होता है? आइसोटोप सीजियम 133। By measuring microwave radiation that is received from the CS133 atom changes between the two energy levels. ये नेवी में यूज करते हैं। हाँ, क्या हुआ? अभी कर लेते हैं, इधर तक बस रिवाइज करके आ जाना। आई विल जस्ट डू इट टुमारो। पीडीएफ भेज दिए ग्रुप पे, मार्क वाला भी भेज दूं?
Yes.
I'll send the mark one also. Okay. The second, first is this one. The second is defined by the exact frequency of this energy. Because of this process, these clocks can keep a very accurate time. What is the main purpose? Cesium atomic clocks. They lose only 1 second in 1.4. Yes, that's what we say. Yes. आइसोटोप ये ऑलरेडी आ चुका है, तभी मैं बोला स्पेस रिसर्च से 4 क्वेश्चन हैं और ये वालों में से सिंपल है, कोई डिफिकल्ट तो है नहीं। अगर मैं बात करूं इंडिया फ्रांस का कौन सा है? इंड माइत्रीन तो वैसे वो है, डिफेंस एक्सरसाइज है। हाँ, अभी इंडिया फ्रांस ने कौन, सॉरी, इंडिया और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ कौन सा माइत्री, जो वो है। और वो सैटेलाइट का नाम क्या है? ऑप्टिमस। और किसके थ्रू भेज रहे हैं? इसरो की जगह नहीं भेज रहे, किसकी जगह भेज रहे हैं? तृष्णा क्या है? इंडिया फ्रांस। न्यू डायनासोर स्पीशीज डिस्कवर्ड इन पैटागोनिया। ओके, पैटागोनिया डेजर्ट वेयर? साउथ अमेरिका। इट्स अ कोल्ड डेजर्ट और वार्म डेजर्ट? कोल्ड। आदित्य L1 captures low ISRO reports. L1 कितना होता है? 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth. That is L1. इस पे नहीं आएगा बिकॉज 2 पेपर्स में ऑलरेडी आ चुका है। अभी तो वो एस्ट्रोनॉट्स भी तो कराना है, जो 4 जा रहे हैं।